a coincidence. On yesterday, I was referencing, or 2 days ago, sorry, I'm losing time. Might have been yesterday or the day before. I was referencing a movie that I enjoyed watching that prompted the title for that episode. That one's called, the movie's called The Departed. The episode's called The Departing. But as a coincidence, I guess today, another movie has prompted this topic or theme for today. As you saw in the headline, the title was or is Unshakable? No. Unkillable? Yes. And that term, unkillable, I didn't create that. I didn't even produce that. It just resonated with me from I think it was HBO, the first season of True Detective with Mr. Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey. And that term about unkillable came up in the last conversation in that series. Their characters were Martin Hart and Rustin Coles. And they had this last conversation in the hospital at the conclusion of that series. Martin and Russ were detectives, obviously called True Detective. They were detectives in this show, and they went through a lot as far as trying to solve and fight crime and mysterious disappearances of people and unsavory things happening in their community. But anyway, if you get a chance, check out the first season of True Detective. But in that last episode, and probably the last statement, as far as the conversation in the dialogue between Martin to Rust, after all they went through, Martin said this to Rust: "You are unkillable." I just love that series and that penultimate statement. I even had a hat made with that word abbreviated on it, the letters. But let's get into it a bit. What does that mean in terms of resilience? If you have a chance, go back to the first original season of True Detective. I know it's just TV, it's a TV series, but the way it's written, the way it's performed and acted out, I presume the series story and arc came from a real life experience basis. But even if it doesn't, it has a palpable, positive, and possible real grit and raw feel to it. At least for me it does. And yes, that series, True Detective, is just as a reference here and now today in this discussion. But that recollection of True Detective stories and drives and what may have stoked the inspiration for this episode today. Of course, we will all die physically one day. And I often reference that Latin term or statement, or the Stoic statement, memento mori. I say that a lot in this 820 world. Remember, that means you must remember to die. Meaning to remember first and foremost in an everyday and moment you are graced to live, to place your attention, your awareness, your positivity, and your production in this present moment as if it is your last. Die doing what you have come to appreciate on your visit here on this planet. At this time, in this moment, you might get an extension. You may not. Between those two extremes lay the opportunity. That's the void. To execute, to observe, and communicate your unique talent, purpose, and message that only you can do. This is your time to share whatever you have and been exposed to. Yes, a tired statement from me, but applies to me. The time to share whatever I have and have been exposed to. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Even if you see yourself in those descriptive yet limiting terms, that's all part of you. That's all a part of me. But they are just parts of you. They are just parts of me. The all of you, the all of me, has many of those ingredients, if you will. Maybe we need to refine the taste, adjust the temperature on your stove or oven, your internal stove or oven. Maintain the balance of the spices and watch that boil carefully. Maybe you should turn it down just to simmer, to get the soup and the casserole just right for a proper consumption. Oh, okay. I'm hungry, but enough of the food analogy. I'm getting hungry. But that's the idea about being unkillable. That's the resilience I'm talking about. It's not a shake and bake recipe. You have work to do. You have the internal work and adjustments to make in execution. Great plans are written. That's cool. But with that written plan or preparation, it's time to take that shit outside. In public. Against opposition, even though you go out with great positive intentions. Even on a sunny day, the storms are coming. It will pop up out of nowhere. But your resilience is unkillable. Keep working. Keep progressing. Stay focused on your path. You might need a machete to cut through the weeds or the forest or just have a clearer view, perspective of where you're going, what you're saying, what you're observing, what you're communicating, even before you think about it. As I said, I think about a week ago, your presence precedes you. It doesn't follow you, it precedes you. I'm asking you to consider that procession, that precession, with a heartfelt mindset of being unkillable in your resilience. Stay in the present. Stay in the flow of the current. That's where you found your presence. That's where you can enjoy and spend your currency. No matter where you are in this world, please remember to tell someone, to remind yourself, hey, you know what time it is? It is always